Alrighty. Good afternoon, everyone. It is officially 1 o'clock. It's really nice to see you all. I know a few people are still rolling in and still getting a few things up and running here, but no, I was really excited for the call today. As you saw the message I sent out this morning, we have a really special guest coming on today to talk about a topic that's really important to. I feel like everybody, right? I think at any point, whether if it's personally, professionally. We've all have dealt with adversities at some point. And for a lot of times, it could be a make or break situation for us, right? It could be something that we can work through and power through and keep pushing on, or sometimes it puts us through the ringer and really shuts us down, right? And so I thought of, the Straughters, because they have been through a lot. They have a lot of adversities that they have dealt with personally, professionally. And so I thought today we'd love to have them come on and just really share some of those things that they've gone through, and then even share, how they got through them and how they continued to push through them. And so I have a few numbers I'm going to go over here pretty briefly, and kind of go over a few things just to kind of talk a little bit more about how things went over the past couple weeks. And since we didn't do a Monday message last week, the numbers that you'll see, they are from the past 2 weeks in total. And again, if you see any numbers that you're like, hey, that's not what I submitted, I actually had more, or whatever it may be, please continue to send us your numbers through the week. We submit them in Discord, because the carrier still sometimes can be a little iffy when it comes to actually sending us some of that data. So, all right, let's go ahead and get right into the numbers, and hopefully you guys can see my screen here. Alrighty, so let's start with all producers over 1,000. Again, this is over the past 2 weeks. So we are starting off here. We have Amanda, we have Thomas, Edward, Matthew, Jason, Anthony Chavis. So nice to see you, man. Nice to see you pop in a few policies. Elizabeth, Sean, Ryan, Darla, Kendra, Chris, Natalie, Dennis, Brandon, Mallory, and Cleo. That's awesome. With over 2 apps, that's great. And Mallory Barnes, actually, I just skipped over that. 1,900 over 7 apps. Way to go. That is some work. Then Aaron Wilson here. And then we have stepping into the 2,000s, we have Cynthia. Let's go over one more page. Maybe. There we go. We have Jeffrey here with a little over 2,000. We have Tyler. Now getting into the 3,000s, we have Sean. He's actually new, actually out in the West Coast side that we've been building up a lot here at the base shop. I'm sure you probably have heard of Brian and that whole crew. So that's all of them out there. So Sean, 3,000 over 3 apps. And then Vincenzo is also one of his agents. They're both submitting 3,000 for the week. That is awesome. Then we have Madeline. Mervin, Rachel, we have Adam Burge, we have Camille, Chrissy, now stepping into the 4,000 ranges. We have Brianna over 6 apps, way to go. We have David over 4 apps, Marissa, Tiffany, Sydney, and then now stepping into the 5,000 range. We have Josue here, and again, he's part of that West Coast crew, so I'm sure Brian is very happy this week. Him and his team did some work. Josue here with $5,068.32 over 3 apps. Now we have Robert Barrett, we have Jude, we have Andre. Now stepping into the 6,000s, we have Sandy, we have Jeanette. And now in the 7,000s, man, I feel like I keep just bumping up and bumping up. Tom now with 7,000 over 6 apps. We have Ricky here with 7,000 over 5 apps. Sabrina Floyd, 7,000 over 9 apps. Way to go. Mark with 7,000 over 4 apps. And David stepping into 8,000s with $8,142.16 over 10 apps last week or last 2 weeks. Way to go. Rogers and Kim, it's only fitting, right? Rogers and Kim here with $8,308.84 over 7 apps over the past 2 weeks. Irma now stepping into the 9,000s. We have $9,126.44 over 2 apps. We have Cisco with $10,235.78 over 2 apps. And if you're thinking that 10,000 would have got you into the top five, you're almost there, but it was really close. Stepping into 10,000s with just a couple $100 more. Number 5 last week, Jeremico, $10,503.96 over 9 apps last 2 weeks. Mike Guerra, $11,513.64 over 10 apps. Boss man himself, Again, I say it every week, still don't understand how he finds the time to still submit these policies while he's traveling all over the country. But Boss made himself $21,724.72 over 10 apps. Christina with $27,106 in 5 apps. Way to go. And then leading the way, number one, Marty down in Florida, $49,900 over 3 apps last week alone. I know he's been working on some annuities, so that is awesome to see. Top 5 weekly paychecks. So again, these are the top paychecks for over the past 2 weeks that were deposited into these advisors' accounts over Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we have Sabrina Floyd, number 5, with $5,518.20. Nick Greco with $5,539.21. Adam Burge, $6,040.17. Way to go. Mike Guerra, $6,485.26. Mercedes, $8,917.26 with a number one paycheck. Way to go. And actually, I think Holly did mention these actually are, I think these ones were maybe just last week's. I'll get a correction on that. But way to go, everyone. That's really, really exciting. Now we'll get into some of the building that went on last week or last 2 weeks. So under completed fast tracks, we have Rogers and Kim with one. Colin, he's actually one of our brand new agents here working with us too. He came on through Brandy actually found him, and he's been getting things moving, getting things building. Really, really exciting things coming through. So excited to see him go. So we have him with 2 completed fast tracks, and then we have the base shop here with 7. Now leading into PLEs, we have Rogers and Kim have 1, and then the base shop has 2. Contracts last week, we have April with 1. We have Mike Guerra with 1, Marissa with 1, Adam Burge with 1 as well, Chris, Eli, Mimi, Cullen, and Cleo all with 1 contract. Look at that. There's a lot of people hitting the field. That's exciting. And then the base shop last week led the way with 10 completed contracts last week. And now you're probably wondering, why is Steven not doing the numbers and why am I here on screen? And it's because Boss Man is literally on a flight as we speak. So he is on his way down to Tampa, Florida. Him and Adam Burge both will actually be there. They'll be doing the hotspot there tonight and meeting with some of our agents. So they will be in Tampa, Florida today. And then tomorrow, Steven is flying out to San Diego, California, and yes, you read that right. He's going down to Florida and then all the way across the country, all the way over to California. So Steven will be in San Diego. So yeah, if you have any questions about the event, if you want to get any of your people there last minute, definitely reach out to us. Let us know. We'd love to get them there. Love to get them to meet Steven. And then November 17th, he's still filling out some of his November schedule. So if you have any places that you want Steven to come to, please reach out to us as a staff. Let us know. But November 17th, he's going to Stamford, Connecticut. November 18th, and he's going to be heading out to Nashville, Tennessee there. So really, really, really exciting stuff. So I think that's all of the numbers that I have here for the weeks. Yep. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. So without further ado, I'd love to have the Straughters come on, Rogers and Kim, and I think Kim is actually currently at the hospital. So again, talking about adversities, right? So I would love to hear from both of you, Rogers and Kim. It is great to see you both. You guys are rock stars. I really just would love to leave it open to you. I'm gonna mute out. I'm gonna just listen in. I know you guys have some amazing, amazing things prepared for us. And as always, if you guys need anything, just let me know, okay?
All right. Thank you,
Thank you,
Chandler.
Chandler.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Well, Kim and I like to thank Stephen and Holly Davis, of course, your family as a whole, Chandler. You all come together very well and set a good example. And we're grateful to be part of the alliance. So my name is Rogers and my wife, Kim Straughter. We're here in Detroit, Michigan. So now you can say you have friends from Detroit. Uh, we're brought into the business by Jeremy Edwards some time ago, and we've been enjoying the association and the productivity and all that the alliance bring with us, and we're grateful for Andy and Jane Albright as well for creating this opportunity for Kim and myself and all who's on the call today and those who we're bringing on into the business. As Chandler highlighted, how to deal with adversity. This is something that we like to just share with everyone today because we're all going to hit some challenge in our lives. This comes from a good place. And so we don't know what everyone is going through or what they've been through or what they're about to go through. But this is just a conversation amongst friends to really share how we've been able to deal with the challenges that we've had. And Kim, I'm proud of you for pushing through the various challenges. So let's just talk about that, for example, and it's just a conversation between you and I and those who are listening. And so, Kim, just kind of highlight some of the things that have been a challenge in the past. And of course, it's obvious you're not here in the home office. So just highlight just brief what we've been going through, and then we'll talk about 3 points. 3 points. So for those who are taking notes, the 3 points will be action. That's one action. We'll discuss that. The second point we'll discuss will be appointment. What type of appointment are we talking about? Appointment. And third is accountability. Accountability. So there'll be some points that we'll share with everybody this morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. So Kim, just kind of paint a picture for us as far as some of the adversities that you've seen and experienced.
Well, thanks again, to Stephen and Holly and the entire team for allowing us to speak in their behalf today. We never want to take it for granted and we're humbled by the experience. But what we're going to talk about today that Rogers mentioned, I like to call it the AAA, and we're not talking about AAA auto insurance, but as he mentioned, action, appointment, accountability. What do those things have to do with adversity? Well, everybody, as Rogers mentioned, everybody's dealing with something. Either you're about to go into something, you just finished something, or you're right in the middle of something. And it seems like it's all three for Rogers and myself lately, but it's all good because, we just continue to push through. So some of the personal challenges that Rogers and I have faced, recently, health challenges for myself, health challenges for some of my family members, death, business challenges. You build your team up. You got some people who leave, some who a few have stabbed us in the back, but we keep going because we know that we have our goals and set in front of us, and we don't let anything stop us. So as Chandler mentioned and Rogers mentioned, right now I'm in the hospital and my brother is literally fighting for his life. And so my sister-in-law and I are just here doing what we can do to talk with the staff to see what it is that we need to do to just keep him with us just a little while longer. But even though these are some of the challenges that we face, we don't stop. We still have to run our business. We still have to service our clients. As a matter of fact, I've been talking to clients on the phone this morning because they have their own challenges and they look to us for advice and for support. And so we can't say, oh, no, I can't help you now. We still take those phone calls. We still make those phone calls. And so I'm not sure if you want me to get into the action part of the AAA, bait.
Yeah, let's talk about the buffalo. If you want to highlight that, that's
Yeah.
important because we love nature and we know that you love animals. And so you've probably heard this before, but it was something that I did not know in comparison to what buffalo, bison, or cows, for example.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yes, I am an animal lover and I enjoy watching their behavior. But some of you perhaps have heard of the illustration, the buffalo or bison versus the cow when they face a storm. What do these animals do? So when a storm approaches, buffaloes and cows, they react very differently. Cows, they tend to run away from the storm. They see the storm coming and they gather in a herd as a herd, they run away from the storm, trying to escape the impending danger. However, that does not help them because more often than not, it often results in them running alongside the storm, prolonging their exposure to the storm and the harsh conditions. But on the other side, the buffalo, they have a tendency to charge directly into the storm. And this behavior actually minimizes the time that they actually spend in the storm in those adverse conditions, but it also allows them to emerge victorious on the other side. And it's a powerful illustration for me, a reminder for me, and hopefully for the rest of us who are just experiencing, challenges of different sorts is that you have to approach these problems head on. You can't run from challenges. You can't run away from your problems or difficulties. Sometimes you want to put your head in the sand like an ostrich and hide from everything, but it only prolongs it. If you face the challenge head on, it reduces the duration of the struggle and you emerge with even more powerful and victorious on the other side. So if you can't take anything else, from this uh, call today is to remember that we have to face these challenges. We can't run away, and you'll be a stronger person uh, as a result of it. So be a buffalo, not a cow. But another thing I learned, Rogers, about this illustration, even the buffalo, they tend to gather in herds too like the cows, but all those buffalo together, they will run through the storm. So it kind of reminds me too, what kind of people are you associating with? Are you associating with people who run away from storms or challenges? Are you associating with people who face the problem head on and encourage you to do the same?
Yeah, that's true, Kim, and I'm glad you're bringing that up because that ties in, it dovetail, it really connects to the next point as far as appointment with positivity, and it is important with what we say to ourselves and how we handle the situation. The ostrich in the sand, a head in the sand is a good illustration or example. Or really, sometimes we want to cover our heads underneath the sheets and stay in bed. This is
Mm-hmm.
a real thing. We don't know what everybody's going through. Man, and those who are on this call or who may be hearing this recording later, they can express the same feelings of illness, death, other problems that they may have been going through, taking care of an aged parent. It can be a challenge, but being able to handle the adversity, we talk about the appointment. What type of appointment are we going to make? Well, that is an appointment with positivity. It's the way we think. Kim, I want to share one example I was able to pull this up as far as
Yeah.
an appointment with positivity, as far as what we say and how we deal with it. I don't know if anybody remember Angela Cavallo. This is something that happened back in the 80s. And since then, there's been several instances of this. Her son was working on an Impala, a car, and the jack gave way and this car fell on her son. And what Angela was able to do, she was able to lift this car of 3,500 pounds off her son long enough for neighbors to pull him from underneath the car. Now, this mother was able to do that because she believed at the moment, she didn't think about it, she believed that I got to lift this car up off my son. Could you imagine if Angela Cavallo had self-doubt? Like,
Mm.
oh, wow, and did not even try? What would have been the situation for her son? And so there's a term, it's called hysterical strength. Hysterical strength. It is a state of temporary superhuman strength. I'll repeat that. It is a state of temporary superhuman strength and is caused by an adrenaline surge and extreme emergency. We may be in an extreme emergency financially, physically, even spiritually. It can be several things. We're in an extreme emergency. And so we need to get moving and not think about how we're going to do, but do. We have everything laid out for us, and we have those who are able to help us, just like Angela, even though she lifted the car off her son, but it was the neighbors that pulled her son from underneath the car. So how it works, the body releases large amounts of adrenaline, which rapidly increases blood flow and oxygen to muscles, allowing them to function beyond their normal limits for a short time.
Mm.
And as recently in 2023, a group of high school students were able to lift a car off of two children who were trapped with their mother in a car. A group of high school students and the airmen were able to do that. And so you see the collectivity, people working together. But could you imagine if that individual, the first individual, thought, I can't do this. perhaps they may not have had the help of others to join in. So it's that appointment with positivity now. So what are we looking for to find these islands of positivity? Because remember, these individuals in these two illustrations, somebody had to be in their mind, the right mindset to say, hey, because it starts up here, I can do. And then that body produce that adrenaline rush, that superhuman strength to do what is normally viewed as impossible. So, Kim, let's talk about that. Some islands or some appointments. That's the appointment. That's the second point. Appointment with positivity. What are they? How can we utilize those things?
One thing that comes to mind is the events that we have. Not only our weekly conference calls, but our big events where we get to associate with all of our brothers and sisters in the Alliance. We lock arms and we meet each other at our conferences. We have 4 events a year. Without these events, it would be close to impossible to do this business, or at least to do it well, because sometimes you have, as you mentioned before, that self-doubt or that belief in yourself and in your ability to do this business. It starts to wane. But when you get around your brothers and sisters in the Alliance and you have that association, that's what you need in order to continue to move and go forward and to get better in this business. So that's one of our appointments with positivity. And I tell you, I felt like the world was almost going to end when I personally could not make this past boot camp because of health challenges. And that was a rare thing for me, because you and I are always there as a team, as a couple, we're there. But that's just one example to show you gotta have your appointment with positivity by attending these events. Another thing that comes to mind is reading. What are you putting in your mind? What are you reading to help yourself stay within the right mindset? There are so many wonderful books out there right now. And if you're having any question as to what you should be reading, that's one book that I remember that Stephen and Holly um, recommended to me personally, what to say when you talk to yourself. So if you have self-doubt, if you're always thinking negative thoughts about yourself, please pick up that book. Another book that we are personally reading now that Stephen has encouraged us to read is Goals. So, what are you feeding your heart and your mind? Please make that appointment with positivity by reading something that's going to lift you up spiritually, but lift you up in this business to help you do better and to help you keep your mind right.
You know what? You got me thinking about when I was a little boy, and this might be something that some of us on the call may remember, or I'm just plain old, but it still applies to itself. There was a book I remember when I was a kid. It was called The Little Engine That Could. The Little Engine That Could. And the premise of the story, this book was written in 1930, and I remember as a child back in the 70s going through the book. So the book was back then about 40 years old back then. So this book is almost 100 years old, but the principles still apply. The Little Engine That Could. And here's the thing. It was teaching us as children that you can do and what you say is important. Premise of the story, there was toys and goods that was supposed to get over the hill and to the other side of the hill to all the children on the other side. Of course, these large locomotives, they tried to get up that hill because one of them had broken down. And at last, the little train, the little blue train that could, said, give me a shot, I will try. Linked up to all those cars. And the mantra, if you read the story, the little engine or little train, the mantra was, I think I can. 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 I think, and the train got up and over the hill. Well, I know I can. I know I can. I know I can. We should say those words, not I can't. Or basically you're saying, no, I won't. But
Mhm.
I know I can. So Kim, you nailed that. I like that. We were talking about the appointments with positivity, our events, because okay, listen, can I be frank? I mean, not rude, but just, I
Preach
just
it,
want to
brother. Preach it.
see, for all of us, we're only going to get out of this business what we put into it. And those negative events will come. But we just can't not go to the events, not go to the hot spots, and expect to have the same success as other leaders, those you see on the board who are consistently every week producing at a high level. We can't. And we've been here long enough to see that there's agents who've come and go, and they've tried to do it their own way or just pick what they wanted to do with the business. Because even when we were part-time and had full-time jobs, we still arrange affairs to go to the hot spots. We still arrange our affairs to go to the events, even though we had full-time jobs.
Yes, we
And we
did.
were caregivers
Yes, we were.
for Kim's mom who lived with us. And she had poor health before she left us 3 years ago. The point
Today.
is, we made it, yeah, today. Today is the anniversary of losing mom. The point is, everyone, is that find that appointment of positivity. Because if we had said, hey, mom is ill, we got to stay home and not made arrangements, we can make anything to be our excuse not to do. We really could. But we made arrangements for other family members to come in or other friends to come in and assist wherever needed so we can go and get what we needed to come back and take care of mom. True facts. And so just to emphasize, you cannot do part of the business and expect to have the same success and then quit and say, this just doesn't work. No, no, we weren't following the recipe. It's like baking a cake. You can't take out certain things. Now you can take out the nuts. If you don't like nuts in your carrot cake, that's fine. But as far as, the amount of baking powder, the temperature in the oven, you can't say I don't like 350 or 450. I'm just going to bake it on 200.
Hmm.
You can't do those things. There's certain key things you must do. So we're begging you, please don't give up, but please make those adjustments, please, to really take advantage of these appointments with positivity to help you push through. So
Yes.
that's my heartfelt request for everybody who may be listening to this live now or the recording of this.
So not only action and appointment with positivity, but that last A, accountability. What say you on that?
And accountability is so important. We are accountable first, yes, to ourselves, but also, you're not hurting yourself. You're accountable. We're all accountable to our families. I'm accountable to Kim. When I'm supposed to be working, I'm supposed to be working. You're accountable to your wife, your spouse, your mate, your children. If your parents are still alive, you're accountable to your parents.
Mhm.
You're accountable to your business. The team as a whole, we're accountable to our team.
Yes.
We're accountable to society. Think about
Yes.
that. You have a license to do what other people who are unlicensed cannot do. You have a license. And what's that expression? The Amazing Spider-Man?
With great power comes great responsibility. So, in essence, for all of us who are on this call, and if we have a license to help the families who've been entrusted to us, shame on us if we do not. Shame on
Right.
us.
So we know we have it in you. We all have it. We're working together. We're in the trenches together. We're locking arms together. Uh, there's there's no obstacle that we can't overcome together, but just fighting adversity. Don't give up. Those who have not quit, they have not failed. A setback may be a setback, but it could be the setback for you to come back even stronger. I want to read this point here, this one point that is in what to say when you talk to yourself. Very important here. It's this point here. What you say to yourself at a time like that will affect the frame of mind you are in, how you feel, and how well you do to handle the situation and yourself. How well your son or daughter does depend and will depend on the doctor or whatever words of encouragement you can offer. And so in Kim's situation, positive talk to her big brother, to her
Yes.
sister-in-law, what the doctors are going to say, positive talk on the finite level, on the lowest level to the greatest level. What we say to get through adversity, what we say to ourselves is of utmost importance. And this is just that little fireside chat that we want to have with everyone today. Just to let everybody know that you are not alone. Don't give up. Follow the system. Know that with prayer, if you're a person who are spiritually minded and that's what you do, or having a confidant to talk to, your reading and taking care of your body, your mind, all those aspects, they're integrated. They're all together. They're important. And so keep all these things in mind, knowing that you, we, we all can succeed. And we're just proud to be with this team and to be with these individuals that we can call our brothers and sisters in this business, our chosen family. Kim, anything else you want to say before we wrap up? We really appreciate your strength and your determination in this as well.
I'm so proud of my husband, and I'm also so proud of our team for working hard and doing their very best and to just never give up, never quit, because the success is on the other side. It's just around the corner, but you got to get up the hill. All the good stuff is uphill. Nothing that's really worthwhile, nothing that's worth having is going to come by easily. Because if it was easy, then it wouldn't be worthwhile. So please just remember, in order to overcome adversity, we have to think about all of those things. You have to be accountable. You have to take action. And you have to have your appointments with positivity. And remember that we are all in this together. And that's one of the many things I love about the Alliance. And one of the things I love about the Davies team is because we lock arms, we hold hands, and we go through the struggles together. The struggles may be real, but the success can be real too if you don't quit.
All right. Hey, thanks, Chandler, for having us on. And thank you to Holly and Stephen Davies. And we're proud to be with this team. Appreciate everybody.
Thank you guys both for hopping on. I really, really appreciate you guys. That was such amazing content. And so one last thing I just wanted to, to add in is that, I hope everyone has a great week and they're able to take this content and really apply it into whatever things you may be going through. And so continue to not only reach out to us as a staff and allow us to help you out any way that we possibly can, but continue to help each other. Right. So let's all have a great week. Next Monday, we actually are having on a special guest talking about debt consolidation. We have a new company and a new product that we're working with for debt consolidation and how we can help clients out with that. So next Monday, definitely be sure to hop back on here on the call. We'll have more details to come about that, but I just want to go ahead and let you know that we will have that call next Monday. So if you're trying to think of maybe adding that into the mix of helping your current clients, then definitely apply that. But hope you all have a great day and hope you take care.